Did that do something?
I can't really tell on the screen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know how the sound's going to be, so we might have to speak quite loud because we're using the built-in microphone, so apologies if the sound's bad. Alright, let's start.
Cheers, everyone.
Yes. So I'm Nick, and this is Steam Machine, and this video is about the Fellowship Decadent. And I'm joined by...
Hi, everyone. I'm Sean. You've probably seen my face about and posts and various things, and the newly minted semi-official social secretary. But yeah, great to be here for the Big Mashup Festival.
You don't want your badge.
No badge. Sorry.
Yes, we are in the Big Mashup Beer Festival here at Steam Machine. Its mission is beer diversity. We've had plenty of Fellowship members in here, which has been a treat. We've got some in here at the moment, and we've got some who've travelled all the way from Cambridge for the beer festival, which is quite impressive. So go. Big shout out to George. Thanks for coming.
Cheers.
So we thought we'd do a little video. We've had a look at all the votes and all the discussions regarding beer styles, and there's a few things that we've distilled it down into for the first round of proper votes that have shaped the future boxes. So if you don't know by now, the boxes are going to be released 3 a year in sets of 24. That was voted for. 95% of people wanted that. And the ideas are shaping quite nicely.
Yeah, it's going to be quite a big shift, but it will allow, I think, based on what everybody's feedback's been so far, kind of some broader diversity. But themes seems to be a theme where we're going to bring some kind of structure to each box based on what everybody wants, so people get to try some things. So we'll be able to talk about that in a minute.
Yeah. So the first one is we're looking at is the first box is going to be spring, and you'll have 24 beers to drink late spring into early summer. So it'd be a shame not to explore those kind of styles of beers which are appropriate for that time of year, like Bisons, wheat beers, pale ales, saisons, grisettes, that sort of thing.
Light, refreshing, just where you want to sit in get the sunshine in the garden. Get rid of winter blues, I think, what we're looking for, wasn't it?
And that doesn't mean there won't be dark decadent beers in here, there'll still be barrel-aged beers in here, but the first votes on specific styles, the one thing that came up was something that we're calling same but different. You want to tell us what that's about?
Yeah, so I think it's, look, we've had lots of different suggestions around that theme, but it's going to be 4 or 5 different beers, but the style's going to be one style, and then it's going to be taken in different ways. So something like, the options might be a classic IPA with a hop profile, but dry hopped differently for each one. So it might not have the same hops in, but the dry hop will be different each time.
Which would allow you to maybe see the difference in an American hop, or a modern American hop, a classic hop, a New Zealand hop, a traditional English hop, a German hop, and that would be quite an interesting thing to do.
Yeah.
There's other ideas.
So the biggest one I think that's slightly different would be something like a saison or a wheat beer, but with fruit additions. So something that's seasonal, foraged if possible, or something like that. So rhubarb, blackcurrant, but all of these things will then be put forward as a vote, because I think that again is like an epitome of a spring-summer beer, really refreshing. And seeing the same base beer react to different fruits, I think would be really interesting in a box to be able to try side by side.
I think that would be awesome as well. One of the other ideas is different yeasts. So yeast plays a massive, important part in a beer. So you could make something like, again, like a classic pale ale, quite a generic one, where it could be a Belgian pale ale, it could be an English bitter, it could be an American pale ale, depending on what it's fermented with. And then we can look at how different yeasts, what they do to that beer. Because some would attenuate it more, so you'd end up with a slightly stronger beer. Some would exhibit fruity esters, phenols, and all sorts of things going on there, and that could be a very interesting result as well.
I think one of the things that's come from other people's comments is about trying to understand and experience how yeast affects a beer in different ways, different types of yeast act differently, how a fruit does something different. So this same but different is kind of bringing that ethos in of we start with a base and then mess about with it, just be able to see what different things, even things like water profiles sometimes, might be a bit too chemistry for right now, who knows, but things like that, to see how it reacts.
So in this first round of proper votes, I'm going to give you these votes, but there's going to be some suggestion boxes which are going to feed the next round votes, such as, we want dark and decadent in this box. which beer styles do you want us to brew, which are dark and decadent? I'll pull up some ideas that people suggested before, and we'll stick that in. One of the other things we want to look at for this box is Re-brews. Ideas that we've had before over the last few years that the Fellowship existed. Maybe ideas that you didn't think were executed as well as they could have been, or you want to put a different twist on it. So in the suggestion box, it's going to be which Fellowship beers, maybe you've joined the Fellowship more recently, you've missed out on an idea that you thought, wow, that's great, I'd love to give that a go.
Yeah.
So in that section of the vote, you can put those suggestions in there, and we will put that to the vote in the next set of rounds.
I think that the thing is that this message will go out with these boxes and suggestions and things, but we're always open on the Facebook pages to anybody suggesting anything, and they all get read, they all get looked at and noted. Sometimes we shake our heads and go, how would that happen? Or someone said garlic again. I like garlic, but there you go. But yeah, so it's not just this, there's other ways to drop suggestions in all the time. So.
And regarding the barrel aged beers, we're surrounded by lots of barrels here, and I've got the option to get new barrels if I play my cards right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a list of everything we currently have in the barrel, so you can choose the portion of this box that's just going to be barrel aged, what you want to see. And I think that's a healthy amount of votes to shape this box.
Yeah, and they'll obviously be looking at for the same but different, 4 or 5 beers for the sub type things, 4 or 5. How many we need to do to fill that box and keep it as varied, keep that diversity in there, keep that interest, and give everybody what they want as well. So there'll be some thought going into all of those numbers.
And the last thing to remind people of is that our community brew day will come around very quickly. What's the date we've got that's been discussed?
Oh, come on.
March, there's something.
Yeah, sometime in March, but I'll be sending something.
Put it in the video description.
Yeah, and I'll be sending something out again about that. I'm sure I'll find it.
So we'll finish arguing and debate what we're going to do with that, and we'll get that information to you as well. So all in all, lots of exciting stuff happening, and the slower approach is going to make for much better beer and better box.
Fingers crossed and everything. Then thanks for everybody's input so far. It's been really good.
Cheers.
And cheers.
Thanks for joining us, John.
Pleasure as always. Take care, everyone.